to change. Goals calls you to change. You have to have a goal. Do you know the treasure that you're here? So, okay, I was just talking to some guy yesterday, and he, he got a visa, and he was explaining to me, I don't feel like I've done anything with my life. And I was talking to him about a bunch of different things, and I pointed out to him, I said, you just got a visa that leads to a green card that leads to citizenship. And he did a lot of that. He did a lot of it on his own. I said, if you were to take that back to your country to somebody wealthy, and you were to offer to sell that if you could for $1 million, could you get it? And he said, in a minute. And I said, you just won the lottery. There's no place, whether, again, I'm not here to wave the stars and stripes, but you don't understand the environment that you're in. You don't understand the opportunities that are in front of you. I always tell people, opportunity shows up wearing work clothes. We think opportunity shows up as a check that we need to cash. No. Opportunity shows up wearing work clothes. Let's go. Let's get to work. It's getting real quiet in here. Really, hush has come over the house. So God has called you, so goals cause you to change. So, okay, so here's the deal. So where am I going to go with this? I got to come back to this point. All right. Goals cause you to change. So why do goals cause us to change? What happens, so so they did a study in 1954. And what's really interesting, if anybody here did, any psych majors here? Anybody ever studied psychology at all? Yeah, I know. Yeah, you got it? Okay. So we have all these psychological breakthroughs, right? All these breakthroughs in psychology, and they typically come on the heels of a major war. So you have like Freud and Nietzsche happening in the 30s right after World War I, because all these traumatized people, and so there's these breakthroughs in psychology because they have to deal with all this trauma. In the 50s, there was another breakthrough. It was all because guys coming out of World War II and all the damage and the psychological stuff that happened during the war. And so there was all these breakthroughs. They were trying to study what's going on here, and they're trying to help people. One of the breakthroughs that came about in 1954, there was a study to find out why people succeed and why people are happy, and why people don't succeed, and why people are depressed. Anybody want to know? No? Nobody wants to know? All right, come back in a month and maybe I'll bring it back to you. So I'm not going to... No? You want to know? You didn't answer me when I asked you, Mimi. You did? Okay. Anybody want to know? Raise your hand. Come on. Anybody want to know? Yeah? All right, I'm going to tell you. And so they call it locus of control. People that fail or are unsuccessful and are unhappy, they believe that their life is controlled by external factors. The economy, the who's in the White House, the wind, the weather. And so they live their lives based upon external controls. They make all their decisions based upon external controls. Everything's based on, oh my gosh, Amazon's laying off 12,000 workers. Oh my gosh, I got to sell my stock in Amazon before, they make everything based on external controls. The happy and successful people understand that the locus of control is within them, that it's based upon the decisions that they make, and they're not affected by outside circumstances. You can go through, this is kingdom. You believe in, there's all of these kingdom things. It's basically talking about like that you are the agent of change. It doesn't matter. None of these things move me. External circumstances are not to move the Christian. And so people that are unsuccessful and people that are unhappy, they're unhappy because my mother never encouraged me. And I'm not saying you don't have pain and trauma from your childhood. That's not what I'm saying, because that stuff's real. But excuses are not. Oh, I didn't have the education. My high school teacher didn't like me, so I failed that economics class, and that's why I can't succeed in business. I'm like, wake up, man. You have to change the locus of control. You have to stop living. If you have, say it with me, excuses. Come on, excuses are the language of poverty. Unsuccessful people have every excuse in the world. Well, those people betrayed me. Those business partners burned me. Well, who made the business deal with them? Did you? Okay. So it's not really nothing to do with them. It has to do with your judge of character. Does it not? You didn't judge them very correctly. There's something you didn't see. So stop blaming them and take the responsibility. Take the responsibility and become a better judge of character and not do that again. Oh, that's too hard. You know what happens? Most people, their excuses is their blanket. It's their Snuggie. They don't want to give up their excuses, because then they got to give up their warm blanket. That excuse is what keeps them warm in the wintertime. And I can just go down in my excuses. Nobody loves me. Nobody loves you. Jesus loves you. That's all that matters. Rise up. Excuses are the language of poverty, Christian. You got to give up your excuses. You got to shift the locus of control. Your life is not affected by the outside world. The Bible actually tells us to focus on that which is eternal, for the things that we see are temporal and subject to change. But it tells us to focus on that which is eternal and not the things that are subject to change. You have to shift that locus of control. Unsuccessful people are unsuccessful because they're moved by everything around them. All their decisions are made by externals.